All makes, all models, right in the heart of the city. Chewham Street, NewstalkZB.
It is NewstalkZB with Chris. Right, it is time for our local business update this morning with Canterbury Chamber of Commerce Chief Executive Leeann Watson. Good morning, nice to see you.
Morning, Chris.
How are things going with small businesses across Christchurch? And let me just tell you one thing. I feel like things are going okay because all the clients that I've spoken to here at NewstalkZB have said to me, because people can't travel overseas, and I think this time I'm usually over in Las Vegas, I can't go. Yep. So therefore I'm spending my dollars getting far too many massages, buying far too many things I don't need, and therefore that's probably good for the economy. Is that the sense you're getting?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, the figures absolutely back that up as well. So according to the latest research that Xero put out just recently, June figures year on year are up quite significantly for small business.
Interesting?
Yeah, which is really positive. And in fact, Canterbury is up the highest across the whole country, up 3.9%. So there is something happening out there. I mean, we've seen a huge amount of buy local support, and I think that is absolutely playing out.
Yeah, it is.
And I think also, you mentioned about overseas holidays and things like that. People are not able to do that clearly, so they are actually spending that money locally. And even things like hospitality, they're up year on year as well, which is really positive. But there is a degree of uncertainty, coming. So I think that they're also quite conservative.
Now, that degree of uncertainty, is that because the wage subsidy ends, or just uncertainty because we don't know when COVID-19 is ever going to end?
I think there's a number of issues that is leading to that uncertainty. The first one, I would actually say, is around absolutely COVID. We've got the wage subsidy coming to an end. We've got the borders still closed. We don't have any certainty around when they may open. We know that we're heavily reliant on tourists in Canterbury and the South Island and in fact New Zealand. And we're also gearing up for a general election. And generally, as we go into general elections, people become a little bit, more conservative about investment decisions. And so I think you've got all of those things playing out. So that does mean the future is really hard to predict. So people are just being a little conservative in terms of businesses in particular about those future investment decisions, whether that's around investing in plant and machinery, investing in people.
So perhaps they're just holding off just a little bit until they know what's happening.
Yeah.
It is interesting times, isn't it? I want to come back to the tourism thing again. I mean, I tried to book the Transalpine, for example, to take a friend over to see, Greymouth, West Coast, what have you, completely booked out to about September, November. Tried to book one of those overpriced canopy things, completely booked out for the rest of the year.
Yep.
There are some tourist operators that are doing quite well, but there are others who aren't, because they rely, say, on the Chinese international market. They rely on the international visitors.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that word, but I think some are probably having to pivot. Do you think, what are you hearing? I mean, is this whole notion of pivoting working for some?
It is definitely working for some, and I think we've got some really creative businesses out there that moved pretty quickly when they went into the sort of the COVID environment. But I think we have to appreciate that not all businesses can do that, and also the long-term future. We're a nation of 5 million people, and while we're seeing great uptake for domestic tourism now, I guess I would be a little hesitant to say that will continue long term. So I think we do need to appreciate that some of that sector will need some ongoing support. And while the wage subsidy extension is coming to an end, we do need to reinforce to government that there does need to be some ongoing targeted support for some of those sectors that still have some pretty significant pain to get through. Yeah.
That's true. I'm just trying to think, though, but how long do you keep the tap on for a sector that doesn't exist?
Yeah. And look, I think if for those businesses that have been able to pivot and adapt their business model so they've got some income coming in, those are the ones that I think need some ongoing assistance to get them through. And they will have made adjustments. They will have downsized their staff. They will have they'll be doing things differently. You've got other organisations that just haven't been able to pivot for many reasons. I think those are the ones that unfortunately, we will see businesses having to close. And that's the last thing we want to see in this country and in this community. But there is no doubt that some businesses have had to make those really tough decisions. So it's the ones that we've heard the government talk about the vulnerable but viable. Those are the ones that we need to make sure we continue to support over the coming period.
We're out of time. What we'll do, I know that you want to speak about the Regional Business Partnership Network. We're out of time. We might put those details at the end of our blog site on the video to discuss that, because there is help available. Canterbury Chamber of Commerce CEO Leeann Watson, nice to have you on the program, and have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Chris.
And that is our program. We are back again tomorrow from 9 a.m.